Good morning, everybody. Here on yet another morning walk. Beautiful day. I'm grateful to have woken up, be able to see, speak, hear, smell, walk, use my body, communicate, and just see another day. I always say being able to wake up is the gift. Everything else you experience is the bonus. And just that simple perspective change is beginning to do so much for me. Before, I used to think that something external was the gift, but once you reverse and realize waking up and opening your eyes and still having all the things they had the day before, all the blessings, is already the only gift you need. And then from there, it is about being able to get another day to discover your purpose and what you're here to do. And I am seeing that is only possible through not thinking about it. And as crazy as that sounds, you've been programmed to think your whole life, so it sounds even crazier. But like I mentioned the other day, the only time you're in purpose or complete the mission God has for you is when you are not thinking and you are simply in peace. There's no, nothing distracting you, no feelings you're looking to chase, nothing external that's on your mind. It's essentially the present moment in front of you and whatever you are doing that gives you peace and basically lets time fly. It's crazy. I used to think before that life was simply just about chasing pleasure, hedonistic lifestyle. Waking up is a privilege. Waking up was just not a privilege, but something that was owed to me. And then from there, basically focusing my day around some pleasure I wanted to get. It could be, usually start with women, then I could have went into food, could have went to anything really that made me feel good instantaneously, as opposed to working and suffering for peace, which is the goal. Pleasure is something that will simply destroy you the more you seek it, because now it is getting easier and easier to find simpler pleasures that the world is giving you to distract you. Like I said, the purpose you have here. And you realize the biggest distractions to finding out who you are and removing all the noise. Basically, the noise usually is always something that is free, cheap: alcohol, drugs, pornography. The new one now is VR, AI, all these things that they're creating to give you more and more noise and removing you from the signal, like I said, which is God trying to show you through peace you're supposed to be. It's crazy how perfect He designed everything. The world is literally made perfectly. Even the world itself, the earth. The past few days, diving more into that, I never gave it much attention, but the fact that it is flat and not round or spinning around space with planets and aliens that they make us believe. The simple fact that we are the center of a universe that was created simply for us, and we're separated by water and not this fake space that's been created by CGI. The whole moon landing, everything like that tricked us, because think about it, it was done in 1969. No one's been on the moon since 1969. In 1969, there wasn't even color TVs. There wasn't even air conditioning in cars. And they tricked the whole world into believing that they somehow figured out a way to go on the moon, land, and then on top of that, find a way back. And it's simply crazy. that simple fact, when you realize that we are not living in a heliocentric universe, but a geocentric, meaning we are literally the center of the universe and not, a result of some accident, the Big Bang, fake, or something that was just happened to happen. And we're not just spinning around aimlessly around, sun or in a galaxy and planets. It's literally crazy. Once you dive more into it, I will post a video after this that will help you see a bit more. But that simple fact that we are geocentric and not heliocentric universe means that there's literally, the earth we're in was designed specifically for us. It's not something, like I said, was a result of some freak Big Bang Theory accident, and then now we're just all in space spinning and don't know what's going to happen, and global warming is going to take the planet, and we're all going to go to Mars one day, and we're just waiting for that. So everyone is just basically consuming because they think, or they've been tricked to believing that there's another life for us somewhere else. When you realize that that's all something that has been programmed and sold to you to live a aimless life because, nothing really matters. But when you flip it and realize that everything matters because you're the center of the universe and everyone has a purpose, is when you realize how crazy and how beautiful the next few years of your life can truly be, and how serious your life actually is. It's not something to just be thrown away with simple pleasures. All these pleasures are giving more and more pleasures to you to distract yourself. It's one big circus, and the people that believe all the things that are being given to them and all the distractions that are being given to them and sold to them are the people that live this hedonistic lifestyle. And just day by day, days pass, weeks pass, years pass, decades pass, and they're just simply lost in more and more pleasures. And like I said, the pleasures don't stop. You think you're missing out on an event that happens when you go out, or some party, or maybe some new drink, or some new album, but it's still going to be there next year and the year after, and they're going to get bigger and they're going to get more distracting. But what you don't have next year or the next week or even the next day is the present moment, the moment you have right now to find peace in the moment, which means you're living your purpose, not finding another distraction, something else that you're spending your money on because, like I said, you think your meaning is pointless, or that your life has no meaning because you were sold that we're just a spinning planet amongst endless space that is fake, that doesn't exist. So when you realize that, the whole game changes, because like I said, we're literally the center of a universe that was created specifically by us, by our creator, not some accident, some big bang that just put us in some random sequence of events that now we're spinning around, the sun and the moon and other planets, and there's just endless space and things to be discovered. That's all an illusion that they've sold us for years, and it simply just changes the whole game once you realize that. I realize that there's so many different things as well, like I said, distractions that have been sold to us to keep us from understanding our true potential that God has given us and you watching. So if you right now are in that hedonistic space where you're just consuming social media, casual sex, drugs, vices, drinking, VR, AI, all these things that are just simply noise, you need to begin to wake up, literally. Remove these things that are literally your devil and distracting you from the peace that God has been trying to give you since you were born. When you were a kid, you didn't understand all these, or didn't have a concept of all these distractions, or didn't realize, or weren't consumed by all these distractions. All you wanted was the peace of each day. You were grateful for each day, and you weren't trying to think of something new or weren't thinking of some new way to distract yourself. And then when you realize, like I said, it's either noise or signal, which is the source and God trying to speak with you, that is literally all there is. There is nothing new that is going to come and revolutionize your life. Everything that has already happened before. Everything that's about to happen has happened already. There's nothing new that is coming. There's no new revolution that is going to change your life. All the answers are already within you. They've been given to you. Once you understand and realize it's about looking within, not looking externally for something that's going to, like I said, come and revolutionize your perspective on life, or some new robot or AI or some really bullshit that's going to, you think, give you an upper edge. The only upper edge you have, the real upper edge you have, is yourself looking within and God trying to speak to you every day. Once you remove all the noise that the world is trying to distract you with, all the distractions, literally all the noise, and having the discipline, because it is discipline, to remove that consistently every day and just only look up, pray, be thankful, and get the wisdom of each day once you're at that frequency, and not at the frequency of shame, guilt, regret, fear, because your whole life is just based around distracting yourself, not knowing what the next step is, or not knowing what the bigger picture is, which is a life of purpose. But you think it's just a life of chance and, luck, random events, because you still believe in space. So like I said, it is literally time to wake up and, like I said, start removing all the noise, all the things that people tell you to add because it's something revolutionary. Oh, AI, you have to get into AI now because, it's going to change the way we do things. VR, all these things are trying to tell you to add this and add this, add that. The whole game is removing, because we've been given everything we already need in this perfect world that was created for us, this geocentric world. And removing the right things is the only way you can connect to the signal. It's not adding more noise, more static. The frequency of every day is literally connecting to God and the source and the message trying to give you, and opening yourself up to that, and not closing yourself off with something you think the world externally is gonna give you. Because like I said, the world is just giving you distraction after distraction, lie after lie, story after story, event after event, all these news things, politics, things they're lying to you about, so you can just be distracted and basically participate in the circus that is the other world, as opposed to removing all that noise, staying focused on the signal, suffering, in order to remove the things, because removing is suffering, because you're no longer living for the devil and trying to add something, but living for God, and removing and connecting to the signal. So when you begin to realize that, like I said, the game changes, and you realize, yes, your life actually has purpose. It's not meant to be wasted with hedonistic pleasures. Simple things are being given to you to distract yourself with, and it's about getting connected to the signal and understanding the gifts you've been given and what you're here to do. So therefore, to end things off, the only two things that will stop you in this life are yourself and the devil. God will never look to distract you with pleasures. That's simply the devil, and you allowing that is you literally distracting yourself from your purpose. God, like I said, will give you your purpose through peace, through flow states, through not thinking, and that is when you know you're in the right place. But like I said, all the distractions and the noise will cause you to think it's this way. Oh, it must be this way because everyone's doing it this way. Or it's removing all the noise, getting to the signal. And like I said, God is the signal, and God literally created this world perfectly for us, and we're in the center of it. So I will post that video. Watch it, understand the purpose you have, and yeah,